Yo, yo. So we in there on day 2 of E3. And what was the big news for day 2 and everything everyone was looking forward to was the Nintendo conference. But before I get into the Nintendo conference, I just want to talk about, because there were other games and that sort of stuff, or really just a game for me that, were announced by other third-party companies for the systems. Really the only game for me that I saw that was, mildly interesting, aside from like Dishonored and stuff like that, but that's, things that were already announced prior to E3. I'm talking about things that were announced in E3. Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage 2, or as I had it, Hokuto Muso, because I had the PS3 version. They better improve the hell out of that shit, because, I enjoyed it as a Fist of the North Star fan, but, they better give me some more playable characters. They better make Ken not the worst character in the game. How does that work out where Ken is a really sucky character and all the Nanto guys just rip all hell in that game? So, and they better just be more complete with the story, more characters, improve the game a little bit. But this is Koei we are talking about, so I do not have high hopes. So that's pretty much the one game that was announced during E3 where I was like, oh, I'll get it, more so as a fan of Fist of the North Star than as a fan of the Dynasty Warriors kind of hack and slash beat 'em up games. So, okay, Nintendo conference. My expectations, and I think a lot of people's expectations were really fucking unreasonably high, especially after they had the pre-presentation on Sunday talking about all the system features for the Wii U, the Miiverse, all the interconnectivity you could do, and all of this crazy stuff, like you could pause the game, go to a message board, see how people are reacting to the park you're in, try to get help. You could video chat with random people. Like, it's just this crazy technology that they're coming forward. So I was like really, really hyped because, I'm probably honestly not going to get too many. I have all 3 of the current gen consoles now, and even last generation had all 3 of the current gen consoles. Not going to do that this year. It's going to be way too expensive, and, I got to start cutting back in some ways and beat the games I actually have, because I have a lot of games I need to beat. So, but if there was one console I was going to get, it would probably be the Wii U. So I was, waiting for this conference with bated breath. Alright, so they come out, yada yada yada. Straight off the bat, Miyamoto, Pikmin 3. Alright. Pikmin 3, it's a great, they should definitely get that out for the Wii U as a launch title. If they don't get that out as a launch title for the Wii U, that's a huge disappointment, because that's gonna, I think that's one of the games that's really gonna show the capabilities of the Wii U, in terms of graphics, what the gamepad can do, the little tablet thing. It's called the gamepad, if you didn't know, and just that sort of stuff. Yeah, you want a new Pikmin, but you also want, a game from a franchise that you haven't seen in a while to kind of support that. And then they announced there's going to be video streaming on the Wii U, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Video, YouTube, yada yada yada, that sort of stuff. So that's always a good feature that you want to have, especially, it really shows that Nintendo is actually embracing online for once in their goddamn lives. Like, who would have ever thought that Nintendo would be embracing online interconnectivity, being able to communicate with random people? I do not think there will be friend codes in the case of the Wii U. Maybe there will be some sort of not friend code, but some sort of gamer tag sort of thing. So, you can have more features accessible with your friends, whereas, if they're trying to keep things quote-unquote safe, maybe you won't be able to video chat with random people or something like that. I don't know, but it's cool to see them at least, taking the next step forward. And it's a big step for them, because they are a very, conservative company, I'd like to think. And also, now you can support 2 Wii U gamepads. It had been rumored and kind of discussed that you can only have one Wii U gamepad, which is, like I said, again, the tablet, at a time. But now you can have 2, but it's not going to run at 60 frames per second anymore. It'll be 30 frames per second for each gamepad. So, I don't know how that'll work, especially in a game. Maybe there's a lot of shit going on the screen. That'll be something for the developers to tackle, but it's, at least I think that's a good step forward to get the 2 Wii U gamepads. It kind of gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of the games you want to create, and that's always a plus for developers if you're trying to attract third parties to develop for your system. And then they started. Alright, listen, Nintendo, I understand you're really trying to push that you got third-party support. They announced, or didn't really announce, they showed off Batman Arkham City Armored Edition, Mass Effect 3, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and trying to all for Wii U. Okay, We don't need Batman. I'm sorry, I just don't understand this concept, especially in the case of Mass Effect 3. This is the third game in a trilogy where you could bring over your file from the first game all the way over to Mass Effect 3. You know, go through Mass Effect 2. So Mass Effect 3, you know, maybe they'll put the epilogue, they'll have the epilogue DLC on there and make it like a complete Game of the Year edition sort of nonsense. But you don't need Mass Effect 3. That's the final game. No one's going to play it. No one's going to buy it. I think everyone that has, you know, wanted to play Mass Effect 3 at this point has played Mass Effect 3. So that's not really going to move too many consoles. Batman Arkham City, same case, you know. Not that you need to play Arkham Asylum to play Arkham City, but I think that's kind of, it makes a lot more sense when you go from Arkham Asylum to Arkham City, which I did. So you don't really need, I mean, yeah, you can control the Batarangs with the gamepad and have the nice little interface, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter to me. Assassin's Creed 3, they showed off. Yeah, that's a good, you know, Ubisoft is praying and pledging all sorts of support to Nintendo. They have like 8 Wii U games in development or something like that, which is just overkill, but you know, hey, that's Ubisoft. They did the same thing with Wii. They love that casual, you know, kiddie bullshit, so you know, better to have too much third-party support than not enough. Although you would like to see, you know, a brand new game, or give me a reason to buy Mass Effect 3 on Wii U, or give me a reason to buy Batman Arkham City on Wii U. And I don't think they're really going to do that, but you know, you got to have third-party support at the beginning. Also, a new Scribblenauts called Scribblenauts Unlimited. My brother is a huge fucking Scribblenauts fan, so he's more so excited for this than I am. They're not my type of games, but they're for Wii U and 3DS, and it seems like they're definitely, I can give Fifth Cell, who are the developers in this case, a little, you know, nice little golf clap. I like to do that every now and then, because they are really improving upon this idea of being able to create anything, and now you can create actual objects. Like, I saw some weird demo where he like created a rideable toaster that has skull wheels and shoots, I forget what it shoots, but it wasn't shooting bullets, I'll tell you that much. It was some sort of corny, you know, and then you can create that, name the item, and then you type it in on the game, and it'll actually bring the item to life, and you can ride around on it, and it'll shoot, and hey, that's cool that you're able to, you know, really get in-depth with the customization. You know, that's what they've been going for, and I think that this is going to be one of the hot sellers on Wii U, because I think it's made for that tablet, definitely, you know. So, and then they announced more casual bullshit. Wii Fit U, and this game's saying Wii Fit is Wii Fit. I'm not going into that. I'm perfectly fit, as you can see, so I have zero interest in Wii Fit U, and I have no interest in fitness games at all. I'm just going to go to the gym or ride a bike if I want to get fit. I'm not going to play a dumb video game. Like, I'm sorry. I just think that's a stupid idea, and that's just cashing in on the casual gamers that are gonna, or families or that sort of nonsense that buy these sort of things. And the same concept. It's karaoke. I think you can do dance moves and stuff like that. But what the fuck? It's gonna be all 2012 songs and that sort of nonsense. And those songs, it's not gonna have like Iron Maiden and like Judas Priest on there and stuff like that. Like, if it was that, yeah, I would probably get it. But the fact that it's gonna be all mainstream songs, no, get that out of here. And then they actually talked about 3DS for a little bit. I was gonna hold off on making this video because they do have a conference on Wednesday about just straight 3DS. Like, I think they're gonna announce a redesign, and they might bring a couple new games on it. It'll probably be like an hour or so, give or take. But I think they're definitely going to announce a redesign. I'm hearing it'll be an XL, like, sort of 3DS, where they'll make it bigger. Maybe put 2 analog sticks on there. I don't know. But and they'll announce maybe like an F-Zero or a Zelda or something like that, a Star Fox. Who the hell knows? But I think they will definitely come with, you know, a few surprise 3DS games there. So I was going to hold off, but I was like, you know what? It's during the time when I have work and I just want to get these E3 videos out. So whatever, you know, it is what it is. If they announce anything huge, like revolutionizing the industry, which they won't, I'll make a video about it, but whatever. But anyways, they gotta stop with this new Super Mario Brothers shit. I'm sorry, I'm not... give me like Mario World 2. Give me something like that. New Super Mario Brothers 2 for 3DS. New Super Mario Brothers 1 on DS was one of the fucking easiest Mario games I have ever played in my godforsaken life. Like, I had over 100 lives, or like as many lives as you could possibly have, like not even a quarter of the way through the game. Like it was completely ridiculous just how ridiculously easy. Like I never died. You know, if I died, it was like a stupid mistake. I don't want another one of those. Moving on, Paper Mario Sticker Star. Like Paper Mario is a great franchise, and I think Nintendo is wise in bringing that out on 3DS, because I think they could really, with the way it's like that cardboard cutout, like shoebox sort of weird display sort of, you know, I forget the word I'm looking for that they use. So that they'll be able to like use 3D nicely in that game. But listen, I want Super Mario RPG's Legend of the Seven Stars. Give me a sequel to that. That is the definitive like Nintendo RPG for me. Bring that shit out, like Paper Mario. I love you. I played all of you. Give me a new Super Mario RPG. And then they talked about the Luigi's Mansion game. Luigi Mansion, Dark Moon. It's Luigi's Mansion now. He's not just stuck in one mansion. He can go to different mansions. There are challenges, different ghosts, that sort of stuff. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion, it is what you're expecting, but at least you're getting a new Luigi's Mansion. You know, there was Luigi's Mansion 1 was a launch title for the GameCube, and that was, you know, almost 10 years ago. So, you know, I'll take a new Luigi's Mansion, but none of those games for 3DS are, you know, must-haves. Like, you must have New Super Mario Bros. Wii, New Super Mario Bros. 2. You must have Paper Mario. You must have Luigi's Mansion. No, for me, I'm just not all that interested in those. Like, yeah, I'm not saying I'm not going to get them. I definitely will play all three, but it's not going to be like, oh, give me, take my money, please take my money, just take it all. Like, I'll probably wait. You know, I'll get it at some point as a gift or something like that. Nothing, they're not must-haves. Okay. And then, at the E3 conference last year, they had announced a game called Lego City. And they showed that off, and it's like an open-world Lego game. And actually, I think for kids, it's not, obviously, you know, Legos. I mean, I like playing with Legos and building, like, huge towers and knocking them down and that sort of bullshit. But it's like an open world. It looks like a little bit like GTA, but, you know, as a Lego game. So, you know, you're not going to be fucking hookers in an alley or anything like that. So, yeah, that's coming out for Wii U, and I heard that there's a 3DS version in development. So, like, I think that would be, if I, you know, for my little brother, if I was to get him a Wii U game, I would get him Lego City Undercover, because it looks like a really fun game, like, if you're a kid. So, you know, of course, that's exactly what you expect. And speaking of Ubisoft support, like I had, Just Dance 4, you really think I'm going to get that? You really think I've had any interest in any dancing game, even slightly? At this point, no. Like, unless there is, like, mountains of alcohol, that's the only way I'll dance. Like, once you start pouring the alcohol down my gullet, that's when I'll start to loosen up, and yeah, even then, I'm not gonna fucking dance in Just Dance 4. Like, that's just, throw that shit in the garbage. But that they sold a whole bunch of them on Wii, so of course they're gonna bring another one out. And actually, a really cool game that I hadn't expected to be, you know, looking as cool as it is called ZombiU. It's like Zombie, Z-O-M-B-I-U, for Wii U, of course, and it's like a survival horror game, first person, and it's actually, like, definitively survival horror. Like, you'll play as a survivor, and you have, like, your, like, the gamepad is like your backpack, like, you have all sorts of things you can do on there, and, you know, if your character dies, it's not like you checkpoint or restart or anything like that. No, you just play as a different survivor, and you have to go back and get your backpack from the now zombified character you were playing prior. So I thought that was a really cool concept, and, you know, it's cool to see ideas like that and new IPs come out that definitely look like they'll be worth getting a Wii U, and if you get a Wii U, to play those games. So I'm looking forward to that game at least. You know, it could end up being really shitty, but I think it'll be kind of one of those titles that flies under the radar as being actually pretty decent. So, and of course, it's that time again, people. They go on this fucking, like, 20-minute tangent about this new game called Nintendo Land. What it is it's like this giant theme park, and there's a whole bunch of different games based on different Nintendo franchises. Like, there was a Zelda game, a Luigi's Mansion game, Animal Crossing, I'm hearing there's Metroid, there was Donkey Kong, and there was like an F-Zero reference, like it was like a kart racer. They better just make that a pack-in with the Wii U, because you have to throw in some sort of software with the Wii U when it launches, because that's why the Wii did so well. Like, how many fucking people still play Wii Sports for some reason? Like, I read about it in the newspaper, like old people playing Wii Bowling still. Like, oh my god, you would never think some shitty packing game would be still played like the most, I think, or a pretty damn good amount on Wii. How many years since its launch? Like, it's been a while. So, but they really talked about Nintendo Land, it'll tie in with the Miiverse, yada yada yada. Me, like, I just don't really, I'm not really gonna play games like that. Yeah, like, if I were to hypothetically get a Wii U, I'm gonna sit down. Yeah, I'll play the Nintendo Land if it's a pack-in. I'm not gonna buy it, and I don't think a lot of people would actually buy it if it wasn't a pack-in. So I think it'll be a pack-in, although they said they weren't too sure about how they were going to release it, if it was going to be a pack-in or otherwise. And they've really talked about that for a while, and that was the point where I was just like, all right, we get it. If that's the selling point of this conference, then that's not good. And then they just ended. I was like, all right, we end, and then they showed like a little theme park from Nintendo Land, and then just showed fireworks, and that was the end of the conference. And in terms of my expectations being met, no, they really weren't. But in terms of it being a good conference, yeah, I thought it was a pretty good conference. It was straight games. That's what I expected. I was just expecting, one surprise title for Wii U. And I guess, maybe you could say Scribblenauts was, or Pikmin 3, but Pikmin 3 they started right off the bat. So, and then another weird thing they did is those weren't the only games that were announced on Spike TV, where I had been watching, because for some reason only the Nintendo conference was on Spike TV, and it was not on G4. Like, G4 was just had E3 coverage, it just did not show off the Nintendo conference. That's bullshit. G4, you're really fucking biased against Nintendo. Like, I've seen it from, multiple times with multiple Nintendo games and multiple titles on Nintendo games. You are really fucking biased. Like, listen, if you're gonna show the Sony conference, and you're gonna show the Microsoft conference, especially if you're gonna show the Microsoft conference, because that was one of the worst human embarrassments I've ever seen in my life, you better show off the Nintendo conference, because Nintendo is really the company that matters at this point, because they're the ones that are bringing out, they didn't show a new console or anything like that off with Sony, and they didn't show anything new in terms of consoles. Yeah, they showed off the Smart Glass, but that's not, a new console for Microsoft. Nintendo talked about their new console heavily, and they're really pushing that thing. So at least you can fucking do is show that off. But that's shitty politics and that sort of workplace nonsense for you. But like I said, on Spike TV, they showed off a game that was in development for Wii U by Platinum Games, which is one of my favorite developers of this generation. What is it? Bayonetta, Vanquish. Like, I love those games. Those are great games, especially Bayonetta. Bayonetta is fucking awesome. I think Anarchy Reigns as well, Mad World. Like, I'm really looking forward to Anarchy Reigns. I've got to play the demo on my PS3, actually. But they had it was called Project P100, which is the quote-unquote working title. And it pretty much looks like a Pikmin, Little King story, but more action-based. Like, you do things on the tablet, like you have this little group that follows you around, and you can recruit guys as you go through the level, and you can do little motions and stuff and draw little things on the tablet, and it'll they'll react accordingly. Like, you can attack from behind and make a huge sword if you just draw them in a straight line or something like that. So that game looks really cool. It definitely was not what I was expecting from Platinum Games. I was expecting something along the lines of, beat 'em up like crazy, more adult theme, not like Bayonetta where it's sex all the way is the main driving point. But it was, that wasn't what I was expecting, but it definitely looks like a cool game, and if you're going to get a Wii U, check that game out, because Platinum Games has always brought out quality titles. And something really weird that Nintendo did is there's a new WarioWare, which WarioWare is fun. I have so much fun playing WarioWare, and I am not one for party games, but that game is just ridiculous and all hell. And that's, I think that's great. But a new WarioWare game for Wii U, why not announce that? Game & Wario is what it's called. There was, some gameplay available on the internet, screenshots. you should be announcing that during the conference, Nintendo, because that's a new game. You know, get rid of Batman, get Batman out, and put Game & Wario in there. But, you know, that's Nintendo, so I'm looking forward to the new WarioWare. That will definitely be a game I pick up, because that's just a fun game. You look like such an ass when you play that game, and it's really fun, you know, especially when you have to do those, like, dumb poses where you, like, got the Wiimote on your side. It's just, I think they're fun games, you know. I think anyone, especially casual or hardcore, can appreciate WarioWare because, you know, especially in WarioWare they have, you know, homages to Super Mario, Zelda, like classic NES, Super Nintendo titles, that sort of stuff. So you got to be able to appreciate WarioWare regardless of the type of gamer that you are. And that was it. You know, that was pretty much it for Nintendo. So aside from the 3DS conference, like I said, I'm probably not going to make a video on that because I don't, unless it's like I said, if they announce a whole bunch of stuff and it's completely like unprecedented that they went crazy, but I don't think they will do that. It's kind of Nintendo. They're a very conservative company, like I said. And that pretty much might be it for my my E3 coverage. I was gonna make it. I don't know if I'll make another video, but I don't know if I could pick a winner for this E3. I could pick a loser, and that's Microsoft. But it would definitely have to be a tie between Sony and Nintendo, I would say. Sony, based on the fact that their conference had some really low points, but they had some games where I'm actually legitimately hyped for, like Beyond and The Last of Us. And I mean, I could say Ubisoft as well, but I'm trying to, like, they had just Watch Dogs pretty much, and that was like the main game I'm really hyped for an E3. Nintendo, you know, they had a lot of games and they have a lot of new stuff coming out, and I'm kind of hyped for the Wii U. But, you know, in terms of software that I myself as a gamer, like hardcore, like I want something hardcore, like played Batman, played Mass Effect, you know, give me something that I don't expect. And that's what I guess tonight will be. And you know, I've been, there isn't too much, there's still news trickling out of E3, but, you know, once the 3 conferences are over, E3 is pretty much done. So like I said, unless there's some sort of unprecedented thing that I must discuss, my E3 coverage is done. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching my hellaciously long videos. I'm sure this one will be up there as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm always glad to hear your guys' feedback and what you guys think of E3. You know, who's your winner and who's your loser? Microsoft. And I will catch you guys later.